All right, and here we are once again. It's been a while. Been a while since we did this. Since we did one of these. Top 10 most pirated movies of the week. They keep changing. Sometimes they say pirated. Sometimes they say torrented. Whatever. I think the first one I did, they were saying torrented, so I named it that, and it's like I just kept naming them that one. Anyway, this is for the week ending today, October the 11th. And there's the standard crap that they say every time. It's just a template, I guess. Every week we take a close look at blah, 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 blah. What are they downloading? Free Guy tops a chart. Had not heard of that. Followed by The Addams Family 2. The Night House completes the top 3. Not familiar with most of these, probably. They're estimated, educational reference only. Statistics are meant to provide further insight, blah, blah, blah. Public resources, blah, 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 blah. This week we have 2 new entries in the list. Free Guys, the most downloaded title. Drum roll. The most torrented movies for the week ending on October 11th are number 1, and it was also number 1 last week apparently, Free Guy. And what is Free Guy? A bank teller discovers that he's actually an NPC inside a brutal open-world video game. That's potentially interesting. Alright, it's got Taika Waititi associated with it. On the one hand, he has done good things in the past. On the other hand, personally, he's a piece of shit. Anyway, Mr. I'll ruin your mythos in a moment, baby. Rising from number 4 to number 2 is The Addams Family 2. That Free Guy was 7.4 at IMDb. Addams Family 2 is 5.4. Not nearly as well rated on IMDb. Addams Family gets tangled up in more wacky adventures and find themselves involved in hilarious run-ins with all sorts of unsuspecting characters. Sequel to the 2019 animated film The Addams Family. Those are some fucking ugly animated characters. I'm not too big on the insanely, whacked out proportions. That just doesn't look right. Doesn't even kind of look right. Anyway, new to the list apparently. At number 3 is The Night House at 6.6. A widow begins to uncover her recently deceased husband's disturbing secrets. I don't know. I mean, that could be good and it could be awful. There's just no way to know without watching it. Also, apparently... Wait a minute. Oh, well, new entries, I guess. So this is not necessarily new to the list. This means it wasn't on the list last time. So, possibly returning. I'm gonna assume that the ones higher up are probably new. So, probably new to the list. At number 4 is Old Henry. 7.3. An action western about a farmer who takes in an injured man with a satchel of cash. That's not sketchy at all. When a posse comes for the money, he must decide who to trust. Defending a siege, he reveals a gunslinging talent, calling his true identity into question. Interesting. Who is in this? I don't know those people. Trouble is, with westerns, it's like all the people that... I mean, obviously all of the old-timey western stars are long dead, but like most of the ones who would have been in westerns that would have happened like during my lifetime are probably all getting pretty fucking old or dead as well by now. Holding at number 5 is just plain old at 5.9. And that looks awful. Oh, Lord. It's another M. Night Shyamalan thing. I mean, he's done good pretty good stuff in the past, but he just frankly went from a few things that were pretty interesting to a string of things that were just kind of crap. A vacationing family discovers that the secluded beach where they're relaxing for a few hours is somehow causing them to age rapidly, reducing their entire lives to a single day. Ugh. That sounds awful. Returning probably to the list at number 6, The Many Saints of Newark, 6.4. Oh my. Yeah, this was probably what people were talking about on Ethan's stream recently. Witness the making of Tony Soprano. I think several people said that. I think they said they didn't like. They liked Ray Liotta, but they didn't like the movie itself. I think that's what some people were saying. A story that reveals the humanity behind Tony's struggles and the influence his family, especially his uncle Dickie whatever the fuck that name is had over him, becoming the most iconic mob boss of all time. And I never watched The Sopranos. Maybe I'll watch it sometime in the future, but probably not. I have limited interest, not totally uninterested, but limited interest in mob-based stories. Dropping from 6th to 7th place is The Suicide Squad, 7.6. I have actually seen that, of course. It was better than I expected, but that doesn't mean that it was, like, awesome either. It's another one of those movies that I can enjoy just fine as long as I don't bother thinking about any of the problems that it probably has. Just kind of turn the brain off and enjoy. It's what you have to do with modern cinema. Oh well. Holding at number 8 is Jungle Cruise, 7.0. Interesting. That went to Black Widow. I don't know, but I have actually seen Jungle Cruise. I liked it. I believe I mentioned in a previous one of these videos when it was first on the list, or at least relatively new to the list, that it was to me a reminder that Disney can still do good movies when they feel like it. It's like when they decide to let themselves. And it was really nice that the female lead, did not just take over being, like the bestest ever and whatnot, and turn into a total Mary Sue piece of shit character that was absolutely insufferable. Instead, you actually see her getting herself into trouble because of her, well, let's just say activism. Her activist tendencies get her into trouble, and it's like, yeah, that's an accurate portrayal of how things work in the real world. Anyway, sliding, all the way from number 2 to number 9, The Card Counter at 6.3. Redemption is the long game in Paul Schrader's The Card Counter, told with Schrader's trademark cinematic intensity. The revenge thriller tells the story of an ex-military interrogator turned gambler haunted by the ghosts of his past. Oscar Isaac. Hopefully of more interest there than he was on Star Wars. Or Disney Star Wars, anyway. I don't know. Also limited interest, I suppose, in gambling-related movies. Just doesn't... I don't know. It doesn't look or sound particularly interesting. I mean, it could be a very good movie. I have no idea. Candyman fucking remake, dropping from 3 all the way to 10. 6.2, I have not seen it. I'm probably not gonna see it. I really, generally speaking, detest remakes. They tend to always just turn out to be absolute shit. Oh, and Jordan Peele being a racist fuckwad, that's an instant no from me. So yeah, definitely not going to see this. Sequel to the horror film, a sequel to the horror film Candyman 1992. Is it? I mean, there were like 3 Candyman films, and does this have Tony Todd in it? Does it? Does it? Yeah, I don't think so. Does it? I'm not seeing him. It does not. That means it's not a fucking sequel. Fuck you. It is a remake, essentially. That returns are now gentrified. Oh my, it's so bad when things gentrify, isn't it? According to some people. Chicago neighborhood where the legend began. Whatever. Yeah, fuck that. Okay, so there they are. Most of them at this point I have not seen. That one sounds interesting. That one might be, except I really don't like the weird way they make the characters look. That could be good. You never know. Which one was that? That's probably good. Don't know that, but it's probably good. That might be, or it might be another flop. Who knows? That opinions seem divided on that one. That one was okay as long as you just decide to enjoy it. That one I thought personally was pretty good, and that one didn't look super interesting, and that's absolute garbage. So there we go. Obviously, it's like that's just my opinion. You may very well really like the bullshit that Jordan Peele comes up with. But I don't. Anyway, so there you go. That's what's popular among the pirating classes this past week. Until the next one.